what's happening, but it's a whole lot of questioning. But we have answers, but the enemy is at war here.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? I am not blaming no devil or demon for the problem of human beings, because this earth was given to human beings to rule and to reign. It was not given to Satan.
Yeah.
Police officers have no rights. Instead of doing community policing, they have no right to be shooting people like what we saw on television. That is murder. That is violence from the police. They started this war. And God gave me a prophecy since last year to warn this nation that the war between the police and white and black and Mexican and the rest is going to tear this country to pieces, and the rest of the world gonna look in horror at the other side of Americans that they don't know unless they live in here. Police are supposed to learn how to tackle people down, disarm them, handcuff them, put them in jail. That is the job of police. The job of police is not to shoot people.
At close range.
And so when you start shooting innocent people, the blood of innocent people is going to raise demons to come to the earth, and the spirit of Belial will come out of the ground, and people will be willing to kill themselves. Now let me go straight to the prophecy for today. I have spent some time to talk with a bunch of you about what God has been telling me 2 days ago. This is a prophecy of a warning to the United States of America, to Democrats and to Republicans on both sides of the aisles. This is a prophecy and a warning for you. And I'm going to tell you that God is very mad at the innocent blood that is being shed by ISIS, innocent blood that is being shed by Al-Qaeda, innocent blood that is being shed by Al-Shabaab in Somalia, and innocent blood that is being shed in northern Nigeria. God is mad and unhappy at world leaders who have turned this thing into a political thing. In as much as Europe decided to become a Mother Christmas or a Father Christmas, all of Europe, you need to listen tonight, because you're gonna hear prophecy. When we finish this, it will just take me the next 20 minutes. I'll be done, and then I'll start prophesying to each of you. And tonight is a prophecy for prosperity, because at the beginning of this year, God spoke very clearly to us that for those of us who are willing, He wants to be generous to us. Therefore, He has asked me to remind people that He is a God of generosity, and that He wants you to live off His generosity and not on your salary. So I'm coming to that shortly. For those of you who believe in your salary, I can assure you, you are not going to be able to do much with it. The reason is, when you become born again, please, anybody who is typing, please mute your phone. Anybody who is doing anything, because what I'm doing tonight is very serious. I'm not joking here. So listen very carefully to what I'm going to tell you tonight. This is a warning concerning the United States of America. Number one, if people leave the military, either they resign or retire, or their job is done, if they have not gone through serious deprogramming back into the community, they should not join the police force. What I'm saying to you is not from me. It is God who took me 2 days ago to heaven and told me what I'm telling you. So listen very carefully. The reason is this. I'm also going to tell you another thing that God told me. Anybody Anybody who fell in their job, in their professional job, and want to join the police force need to be reprogrammed. They need to reprogram soldiers who want to join the police force and people who have failed in their professional job as bankers, as teachers, as professors, as Walmart workers, Target workers, McDonald's workers. If you have failed, you got fired, you failed in your professional job, you need to go through a program that has to do with sanity of the mind and sanity of the brain. Before anybody joined the police force, God told me they should swear an oath to being free from racism. Whether you are a black man, because blacks, police officers are also shooting blacks. They are also shooting whites. So what I'm talking about is not about whites shooting black. It's about police shooting ordinary citizens. Nowadays in America, especially in Republican states, people are allowed to carry concealed weapons. So if you ask them for their ID, where also there is concealed weapon, does it mean that because somebody has concealed weapon, you should shoot him? The same concealed weapon that the Democrats and Republicans are fighting over to do away with people carrying guns. And now when somebody carry gun and you want to bring out your driver's license, if you tell the cop you have weapon, they shoot you. That's what we are seeing. I don't care who is mad at what I'm saying. Challenge me and God will deal with you. You will not wake up the following morning if you dare challenge my prophecy. The reason is because I'm not paid for this. God told me to say this. Police are supposed to be friends of the citizens because they are actually armed ordinary citizens. The ordinary citizen that our tax money has armed them. Because they have been armed, they are armed not to kill people. They are armed to protect us. Only in rare cases, let me tell you something. If you want to injure somebody you feel is dangerous, why not shoot him on the leg? Why not break his leg? Why shoot him in the heart? Please, whoever is talking, shut up. Just listen or mute your phone. I don't want no noise tonight. If you really think that somebody is dangerous, if a police officer break their legs, the next, I don't know which number I am. Police officers should be trained in martial arts. When I was growing up, police officers would chase people, tackle them on the ground, and handcuff them, or pepper spray them, or taser them. Where is that? We don't want warriors in our streets in the name of police officers. I don't care whether you're a black police officer, or you're a white police officer, or you're a Latino police officer, or you're Asian. I don't care. But what I'm told is the nation should draw up a plan for the law enforcement, the police. The nation, the Capitol Hill, Republican and Democrats should sit down and draw a new law for policing, whether it is a rich neighborhood or a poor neighborhood. Those police officers who have been well trained on dealing with people in the ghetto should be the one that should be sent to deal with people in the ghetto. It's not every police officer who knows how to deal with hungry young boys white, or hungry young boys black, or hungry young boys Latinos. It's not every police officer, because there are police officers who, within a minute of anger, they will start shooting. Now, the next thing heaven told me is this. Any police officer who doesn't like their job, who doesn't like their paycheck, and any police officer, you're having trauma, you should not be a police officer. If you don't like being a police officer, if you don't like your salary, you have no right to be a police officer. You should never be one. So, those in charge of police officers should be able to find out whether those working for them are whether they are happy with their job. Anything we can do to upgrade the salaries of police officers so that they are happy with themselves, we should do it. They should do it quickly. They should do it very, very quickly. Next thing Heaven told me, we need a new kind of police officers who can smile, who knows how to disarm people, and who, if people are dangerous, should not kill them, break their legs. How will you get information about how a drug dealer, where they get the drugs if you shoot them? How will you get information about somebody who is an Islamic fanatic if you shoot them? Keep them alive first before you shoot them and get all the information. That's what we should do as a civilized nation. Next thing that police officers and police department are asked to do, train 2 or 3 kinds of police officers. Those who should work with drug dealers, pimps, people in the ghetto should be a different kind. There should be those who cannot get angry easily. Any human being who worry easily, any human being who get angry easily should never join the police department. The reason is this. There are police officers that if they talk to you, you talk back at them. You insult them because they're human beings like we are. They will shoot you. Now, a police officer is not authorized to shoot somebody who talk back at him. That shows me that if he's a married man, he can kill his wife and children. That's the meaning. And what I'm talking about here, I could be a white guy talking the same thing. It does not matter to me. Race doesn't matter to me. That's why I'm in America. Because this is my country. I love this nation. The war between blacks and whites should end quickly. Because if it does not end, this country will burn. Those who want to laugh at this prophecy, the war will come to your doorstep. That's when you will know. I prophesied some months back that Turkey and Saudi Arabia are laughing at Iraq and Syria. They were sitting, I saw the military, the army of Turkey sitting on the fence and watching as ISIS was ravaging Syria and Iraq. And I told you guys in my prophecy that what is happening, what ISIS is doing to those people, they are going to do it to Turkey. It's coming very soon. Because Turkey is the gateway to the Islamic fanatic going to fight in Syria. Turkey is the gateway, and I know it. Next, I also prophesied that the economy of Saudi Arabia is going to fall. And that ISIS will start waging war against Saudi Arabia. You guys have seen it last week. It's already happening. I also said, the Lord inspired me to say, every Islamic community that has decided nothing to stop fanatics, the war is coming to their doorstep. It has come to Bangladesh. It's on. It has happened in Malaysia. It has happened in Indonesia. And it's coming. If you think that you can sit in your office and quietly and secretly be funding these guys, the war is coming to you. The reason is because until a man of God like myself has spoken, then God will act. So we are no longer keeping quiet. It's the same thing that those who believe in the mentality of the slave age, who want to perpetuate these things in order to make every police officer look bad, should resign from being a police officer. I'm telling you, because those days are over in America. The America of 1910, 1920, 1930, 1940, and 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s is over. Get over with it. Nobody is coming to deprive white or black or Mexican of America. So get over with it. Next thing, every police officer who want to take out their anger on society should resign and retire and go and work for Walmart. Go and work for somebody else. Go and be a security person. Go to Iraq and fight for us. Go to Syria and fight for us and kill ISIS. That is how it should be. Now, listen to me, black people. African American, you need to listen very carefully to what heaven told me. Because this is not a white against the white race. Because America has moved away from white and black. So all of you who are doing white and black war, you're fooling yourself. Because America has moved away since the year 2000. That's when heaven decided that America must move away and moved away. It was in the year 2000 that I was told that a woman is going to be a president in the future. Let me tell you, the 21st century is called the millennium, where God is experimenting with women. If you're a man, you don't like women to be in charge, get over with it. Those days are over. Those days are over when men rule over women, beat them, bust their head in the name of marriage. It's over. Heaven has decided that women should be experimented with in rulership and leadership. Simple, short and simple. If you don't want it, if you want to follow whatever you're thinking in your religion, that women should have no say, and let me also warn each person, because this is a warning. Anybody in the United States who tried to kill Hillary Clinton, let me tell you what heaven has told me. Because there is an organization of people that I saw in my vision who have sworn that she will never be president. And let me warn you, if you've never seen a prophet, you've seen one tonight. Let me warn you, before you carry out your assassination, you will die. I am saying it as a prophet of God. So if you plan anything, get over with it. If you're also planning to start your campaign to make her a one-time president, get over with it, because she's going to be there for 8 years. That's what heaven told me. The quicker Republicans begin to put our house together, the better. The quicker, the better. Because there is an anger of God against Republicans. There are things that we have not, and we have not done as a party that has angered God. It's not about abortion. It's not about Obamacare. There are deeper things that we must do as a party. We must. If we are willing to do it, the next 50 years, no Republican will be president in this country. The reason is because this country has moved away very quickly. This is for black mothers, African American mothers and fathers. Heaven has asked me to plead with you to tell your children to leave the street. Tell your children to leave the street. I don't care about Black Lives Matter or black or white lives matters or Latino life does not matter. I don't care. Heaven has told me to warn African American mothers and fathers. Tell your children to stay indoors and leave the street. The reason is the spirit of Belial is in the street. And people are going to listen to me. More people are going to die except they listen to this prophecy. If police department are not willing to reform and to train their people differently, let me tell you the war is coming to your department. Because let me tell you what heaven told me. Black police officers are afraid in their job. White police officers are afraid in their job. They are afraid of black policemen. Black policemen are afraid of white policemen. In every police department in America, there is a warfare going on. There is a gang. There is a party spirit. Race is playing a major role. Hear it and hear it very well. Warning for black mothers and black fathers. Tell your children, number one, when a police officer stops a child, stops a man, tell them to stop. Don't talk back to police officers because you don't know which one is suffering from brain aneurysm or trauma. You don't know. You don't know which police officer slept at the wrong side of the bed. You don't know which police officer is not happy with himself because he's too fat or too thin. You don't know which police officer is fighting a war in his department with another black man or another black woman or another white man or another. You don't know. You don't know how many of them cannot take care of their families. And they are out there boasting themselves to protect us. Let me tell you, 99.5% of every police officer in America is a good person. Only 1% are bad people. And let me tell you what the Spirit of the Lord told me. One way or the other, we are going to reach a place very soon that the 1% who are there because they want to take their revenge on society, they will be weeded out. That is why you have been warned to tell your children, stay indoors. And when a police officer stops them, let them say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. You see me, I am from Africa. I don't claim to be African American. I don't claim to be white. I am an American. That's who I am. That's my color. My color is America. Now listen. Whenever I go to any store, whether it be 7-Eleven or Quick Trip, when I see police officers, if they smoke cigarette, I buy them cigarette. You can judge me if you want that a pastor should not buy people something that will kill them. That's what they enjoy. That make them calm down, if that's what they say, calm down their nerves. Let me tell you, why do they smoke? They have problems. I buy them cigarette. I buy them coffee. I buy them candies. Those of you who've been around me know that when I see police officers, I stop them. I give them money. Why? Because we owe them a duty of making sure that those guys are happy. Those girls are happy. I have a lot of police officers starting from California to Utah to Florida to Kansas here. Every state we have visited, Nevada, Las Vegas, I always stop them. Ask Geneva, ask Alexis, I always stop them to give them money. I stop them to ask them whether they've eaten. I ask them, have you had lunch? Have you had dinner? They say no. I give them money. That's the way we should treat them. And many of you are afraid of police officers. Why are you afraid of them? Why? What wrong have you committed? The uniform does not mean that they are devils. I have some of my relatives who are police officers. So I know the mentality of police work. I know the danger of police work. And I know how greedy some people came into police work to look for power. There are black men and women who are in police force to look for power. There are white and Latinos and Asians who are in police force to look for power. I know that. Many are there to make a career. Those who are there to make a career and ready to do community policing no matter where they are, whether in rich neighborhoods or black or Mexican ghetto or wherever, or white ghetto, please, we owe them a duty to bless them. Whenever a police officer stops you, stop. Don't argue with them. They are the law enforcement people. That's what heaven told me. Let them enforce the law. If they tell you come out, come out. Many of you do not know how to stop running your mouth. Your big old bum, your big old mouth should stop. Please. Because these guys, many of them are frustrated with their job. Many of them are being shot at. I have seen somebody almost run over a police officer who is a friend of mine. Almost run them over. So sometimes they are living in fear too. They don't want to die and leave their wife and children or their boyfriend or whatever. They don't want to. So they act with instinct. Especially when you begin to talk back to them. Let me tell you, when you begin to talk back to police men and women, you are arousing their suspicion. And they can shoot you. And let me tell you, dead people don't talk. If you're dead, you're dead. And you are gone. Next thing, we should stop playing politics with dead people. We should stop playing race with problems. Because there are people who actually, they've done bad things. And they've been shot. So we should not say that because it's a black man that shot a white guy, then all the white people rises up against the black police officer. And then a white police officer shot a guy that deserves to die because he doesn't want to shut his mouth. He want to pull out his gun or pull out his gun. And you know that it's a no-no for you to pull up a weapon. Or for you to even tell, even if you have concealed weapon, you need to tell a police officer that you have one. If you tell him, it means you are telling him you are going to fire him. You are going to shoot him. That's what you are saying. Why not shut up? Pull out your driver. Say to him, officer, do you need my driver's license? He say yes. Then you say, let me come out and give it to you, and you bring it out. Or you tell him, can you put your hand in my pocket and get it out? Don't put police officers in a situation of stress so that they do crazy stuff, especially those who cannot control their anger, those who cannot control their temperament. You are giving them the right for them to do stupid things. Now let me go to Europe. Europe has invited enemies. Europe has given a what do I call it? Europe has hosted its worst enemy. And Europe has to go back and read the history of the Ottoman Turks, how they wipe out all of Tunisia, Algeria, all the Christian countries, including Turkey. Turkey used to be a Christian country. The Islamic people wiped them out. Go and read the story of what Muhammad and his people did to Christian villages and cities. What they did to them. Either you convert or you get killed. Let me give you a warning. Let me give you a warning. In trying to help immigrants, you have welcomed, you have created a society that is going to be in a clash. Because no matter how much you try to reform a hardcore Muslim, you cannot. It's like trying to train a lion or a tiger or a leopard or a wolf. They will do what they want to do. They will do what they want to do. Remember that. They will. I tell you, you see children complaining that pork was in their food. Children, people that we welcome into Europe so that they do not suffer in Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and all these countries, they are complaining. Instead of being happy, they are complaining. We are on the line. We are on the line. We are in a conference. Who is this? Okay, we are in a conference, my dear. So people of God, listen. A lot of European powers have used the immigration crisis or the displacement thing in these war-loving countries to welcome enemies that will lead to the downfall of Europe. The children of Europeans are going to either become soldiers to fight for their motherland, or they are going to be displaced. Church is no longer important to the children of the original Europeans in Europe. But Islamic religion is very important to the sons and daughters of Muslim people. Therefore, God has told me to congratulate Britain for pulling out of European Union, because there is something coming. And Britain has to tackle its own problem by itself without looking at Brussels. Because there is an axe at the root of the tree of Europe. While European leaders are playing game with Islamic fanatics, the days are coming when there will be bloodshed everywhere in Europe. Except Europe do something about itself now and about the strangers that it welcomed into its life, into her life. Let me give you an example. Show me one Muslim country where you are not restricted if you believe in other religions. Show me one. We've opened our doors for them to buy land, buy buildings, turn them into mosques, have businesses. Can you do that in Islamic countries? Can you do that easily? So there's a cheating playing out there. And God has told me to warn America, Canada, England, Europe about the policies that some political parties are making in order to win election and stay in power. Because you are selling off the piece of your land. I am not saying here that you should not welcome people who qualify to come to your country, but they must go through a very strong process. And when they come, they must come to work. You train them, put them on a job. Because many of the people who are going to fight you, they don't have a job. Every day they go to pray 5 times a day, and they think that is a job. Their wives are not working. Many of them don't work. They depend on the benefits. They depend on the benefits of the sovereignty of Europe and America and Canada to survive. And yet they will turn around and kill you. Any religion that has in its writing, in its holy book, that when you kill somebody, you are going to paradise, is a very bad religion. It's a very terrible religion. And we must examine it again. And anybody you are bringing into your country must go through a serious investigation. And you must know what that person does. Let me go to the airline. Let me tell you, it's not the ordinary Muslim on the street that you should only be worried about. There are others. You should begin to investigate very thoroughly those working for airlines, those pilots flying planes who are Muslim. They should be under serious investigations. Professors in universities, shop owners. I'm serious in what I'm telling you. Our airports, from when you come out of the taxi and you want to enter the airport, should be well secured and fenced. I am telling the people of Europe, America, and Canada and England that you must be smarter than these guys. Because these guys have nothing to live for on the earth. They believe in a fake paradise out there. And they are willing to take as many lives as possible in the name of becoming martyrs. Let me tell you who the true martyrs are. True martyrs is a Muslim man who in Bangladesh last week, he was told to recite the Quran. If he recites somewhere in the Quran, they will let him go free. He recited, they tell him go. He said no. Because the other Muslims who have been Americanized or Europeanized, they can't quote these holy books. He is about to leave them. So he said, no, I'm going to stay with them. If you want to kill them, you kill me too. I'm a Muslim. And they kill him. That's what we call a martyr, a real martyr. Who says, these guys, whether they be Christians or Muslim, you have no right to kill them. And I say I'm a Muslim. That's what he said. And they shot him and they killed him. Let me tell you where the real people are who are going to harm us. They are the college graduates. Those with bachelor degree, master's degree, PhDs, medical doctors, dentists who are extreme fanatic Muslims. They are the ones that we have to keep our eyes on. Those in colleges and universities, we must keep an eye on them. I'm telling you, because what is about to happen is going to be big. Now, let me continue in what I'm saying. If this country does not leave politics alone and tackle its problem head on, there are demons buried beneath the ground of the United States. The 4 walls of the United States, there are demons buried here. Demons that erupted, demons that came out during the slavery days and during the war days in America. Demons that came out during the different atrocities that have been committed here by different people. Those demons are quietly down there, chained. But God said to me that he will not hesitate to release them if this country continue to spill innocent blood. Like the 5 police officers who were killed, who were innocent, they are innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. They are not the people that shoot people in Louisiana or in Minnesota. So that young man has no right to take somebody's life. That former military guy who shot 11 or 12 people last night, police officers, has no right to do that. There are other ways of you showing your anger and your protest than to shoot people. Another thing that I'll tell you, each of us need to begin to befriend police officers and not to fear them and run away from them and make life difficult for them and make them fear for their lives and talk back to them. It's not fair, and we should not be doing this anymore. We, as a civilized people, cannot continue to do business this way. That is the word of the Lord. Now I'm going to pause this video, and I'm going to begin to